Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley said they were not convicted by jury of his peers. Reality star Todd Chrisley is stating that he and his wife, Julie Chrisley, were not convicted by a jury of his peers. They were sentenced to a total of 19 years behind bars, with him to serve 12 and Julie to serve 7. The couple has since been pardoned and released, but what does Todd have to say about the conviction? Keep reading for more details. Todd Chrisley, not convicted by jury of his peers. When Todd Chrisley was released from prison after serving just over 2 years, he made it clear that he had done nothing wrong. He appeared at a press conference with his lawyer and his daughter, Savannah Chrisley. Some wondered if he would take any accountability for his crimes. He maintained that he and his wife, Julie Chrisley, had been wrongly convicted. More so, they were not going to apologize for something out of their control. Now he has continued to speak up and out and is sharing who really convicted the duo. Along with Julie and Savannah, Todd appeared in an interview with Juju Chang. She mentioned how a jury of their peers had convicted them, and some feel they did not serve their time. That baffled him as he did not feel that it was an accurate statement. He claimed that he did not see people in similar positions, such as multimillionaires and those in the film industry. Rather, he saw a jury made up of people from a heavily Democratic county. Therefore, they were not Todd's peers or those who had been in his shoes. Upon his release, Todd Chrisley stated that it was somewhat of a witch hunt. Moreover, he believed that he and his family were unfairly targeted. Yet after he stated that it was not a jury of his peers and challenged Juju Chang, followers were stunned. They could not believe how he was reacting and how he still refused to be humble. Take it down, Todd. Viewers have long followed the Chrisley family, as they have long had their own reality series. They also have had various different ventures, with everything coming to a head in 2022. By January 2023, Julie and Todd Chrisley headed to their respective prisons. They were then pardoned in May 2025, and fans feel that Todd needs to take it down a notch. His attitude left little to be desired, and those who saw his interview with Juju Chang had a lot to say. Some could not understand what a political affiliation had to do with his conviction. If he and his wife had done something wrong, politics should have stayed out of it. Unfortunately, Todd Chrisley does not feel that way, and he has made it very clear. Hopefully, he can see some of what fans have been saying and take it in for the better. From the moment Todd Chrisley set foot in the courtroom, he said he could feel it in his bones. Something was off. Now, with time ticking by and the prison walls closing in each day, the once reality TV mogul is speaking out with a bold new claim. He and Julie were not convicted by a jury of their peers. I looked around that courtroom, Todd told a source close to the family, and not a single person sitting on that jury could possibly understand our life, our journey, or what we've been through. That was not my community. That was not my peer group. His words sparked a wave of both support and backlash, but Todd, never one to shy away from controversy, doubled down. A claim rooted in identity. For Todd, the idea of a jury of peers doesn't mean just random citizens. To him, it means people who understand his experience, not the glitz and glamour, but the business dealings, the fame, the pressure of being a public figure. These weren't people who knew what it's like to have cameras following you 24/7, people judging you for what they think they know. I wasn't tried by people who understand the reality of living in the spotlight. Todd believes their case was painted in the harshest light possible, fueled by media narratives that were far more entertaining than they were accurate. We became characters in a tabloid soap opera, he said, not real people fighting for their freedom. Julie's quiet agreement. Chrisley, while typically more reserved, reportedly nodded in agreement when the topic came up in a recent prison conversation with Savannah. Mom said she felt invisible, Savannah later recounted. She said it was like they had already made up their minds before the trial even started. Like they weren't listening to the facts, just reacting to headlines. Julie, who has endured her own struggles behind bars, continues to quietly maintain her innocence. While she doesn't speak publicly as often as Todd, her family says she shares his deep concern that justice was Savannah Chrisley, who has been a fierce advocate for her parents since day one, immediately seized on her father's new claim. How can you call it a jury of your peers when none of them share your background, your lifestyle, or even your worldview? She posted on Instagram, "This system is broken. And if this can happen to my family, it can happen to yours." She went on to argue that her parents were judged more for their television personas than the actual evidence. They weren't trying Todd and Julie. They were trying Chrisley Knows Best. And that show is edited. Y'all don't see the full picture. Legal experts weigh in. The claim sparked debate in legal circles, with some experts saying Todd may have a point, at least symbolically. The Sixth Amendment guarantees a trial by an impartial jury, explained defense attorney Maxwell Lee. But what defines a peer has always been somewhat vague. In the eyes of the law, a peer is simply another citizen, not someone who shares your fame, wealth, or social standing. But others argue that the claim is little more than a distraction. It's a common refrain for high-profile defendants who feel the system is stacked against them, said legal analyst Dr. Kara Milton. But the law doesn't cater to celebrity lifestyles. Everyone has to be judged by the same standards, or we have no justice system at all. Behind the words, a new legal push. Still, some believe Todd's bold statement may be part of a larger strategy. Sources close to the Chrisley family hint that this may signal a renewed legal effort to seek retrial or appeal, on the grounds of bias, unfair pretrial publicity, or even jury composition. Todd doesn't just speak out to vent, said one insider. He's always playing the long game. If he's talking about the jury now, it means his legal team is digging into something. Indeed, court watchers have noted increased activity from the Chrisley's attorneys in recent months, including a fresh motion to review the makeup of the jury selection pool. If it's found that the process disproportionately excluded people from similar socioeconomic backgrounds or with entertainment industry ties, the Chrisleys could have a sliver of hope. The public divides. On social media, fans and critics immediately took sides. One supporter posted, "Todd's right. The jury probably already thought he was guilty because of what they saw on TV. That's not fair." Another replied bluntly, "You don't get a special jury just because you're on TV. That's not how America works." Still, the conversation highlights a broader tension in modern-day trials involving public figures. When someone lives their life in front of cameras, how do you find jurors who don't already have an opinion? And more importantly, should everyone, regardless of celebrity, feel seen and heard in the courtroom? Todd remains defiant. Despite the prison walls and the grueling routine of daily life behind bars, Todd has not lost his fire. In a recent phone call, he reportedly told a friend, "They may have silenced me in that courtroom, but they haven't silenced my voice. I will keep fighting until the truth is told and justice is done. We were not convicted by a jury of our peers. We were condemned by strangers who didn't understand us." Whether Todd's words are part of a legal comeback or simply the passionate outcry of a man who still feels betrayed, one thing is clear. He's not giving up. Not on his freedom. Not on Julie. And certainly not on the belief that, one day, his story will be rewritten by people who truly understand. And in the world of the Chrisleys, where drama meets determination, that rewriting may just begin with the power of Todd's voice, echoing beyond the prison bars, demanding to be heard.